Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Leaving out the house way later than I should, man. I usually press the envelope these days trying to get to Lydia, but today I really did enough. It's like 11:48. I gotta be there at 1 o'clock. I already know. And I'll be crawling in there late. The good thing is though, consistently, very consistently, I'm ending up waiting in the lobby for 10 minutes, 15 minutes for her. So this is what it does every week. Every time I come in there, 12:59 or something like that. She don't actually come get me until like 1:15 most of the time, 1:10. So judging by those standards, I should be right on time. But yeah, I just mismanaged my time. I wasn't even really doing too much. I ate a breakfast very comfortably, showered, did all the stuff. I didn't even shave my head. I could have. I guess it looks pretty decent, but I guess it's probably usually when I shave my head. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna skip that to save time, and I still find myself late, or it looked like I'm running late anyway. So, and I'll try to hightail it on the walk. But yeah, I slept pretty good last night. You know, after the Lakers Summer League game, I went straight to sleep after making that little video I made. Straight to sleep, and woke up at like 2 a.m. for like maybe 20 minutes. Didn't even turn on my phone or nothing. I just glanced at it enough to see the clock, see where we were at, and went back to sleep. Woke up at what, 7? And this is one of those rooms, as I tell you guys, man, depending on how well the room is dark or lit or how close it faces the sun will determine what time I wake up naturally. For the 3-week period that I'm in that room, the sun is facing the window, so I usually wake up no later than 7:15, 7 o'clock, because the sun's already beaming in the window. But if for some reason the room is dark, that 3-week period I might find myself waking up as late as 9. You know what I mean? It's just, it all depends on how dark the room is in the morning. So this room, I've been lucky enough to where I got the sun facing me, so it gets me up early. I didn't actually get out of bed till like 8:30 though. I messed around with my phone a little bit, looking at all this stuff that's going on in the world, and it's so much, man. So much nonsense taking place. And I never thought I'd be paying so much attention to what people consider politics, but it ain't even politics in my head. It was so political. It's not political, it's humanity, man. You know, I'm not gonna be, and we've talked about that a million times, but I'm just not gonna be rocked to sleep by the idea that this is a subject. This isn't a subject. This is what affects all of us. This is what makes it so that whether or not you have an opportunity to have free time to pay attention to all your little subjects. This ain't a subject. This is life. And that people have made it so that we look at it this way is not by accident. That is definitely by design. So, you know, paying attention to what people call politics this morning, and you know, I need to clean out my Instagram, because now what I end up doing is every time I find something that someone, you know, posts something that I agree with, or post something that informs me or whatever, I end up following everyone they're tagged. They tag. It's just a habit of mine. Just like, oh, who's all here? Oh, I want everything from everybody. But some people you follow, they're even though they're posting stuff that you can agree with, they intertwine with one side of the political spectrum or another, and I'm totally against that partisan point of view. I don't want pro anybody Democrat or pro anybody Republican in my news feed pushing on to me pro one side or another propaganda. I know better. I know both parties are intertwined with one another. I know that AIPAC has paid a bunch of these representatives from both sides and paid the presidents both sides. So I'm not in the dark about whether or not I should line up with the Democrats or the Republicans. I know better. And so when I accidentally find myself attached to pro-Democrat crap, I end up looking at it like, man, these people aren't having the right conversation. Our side, it was one lady sitting up there saying, our side doesn't groom children. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You don't do it the MAGA way, but you still got AIPAC behind all the people that you're voting for. And you didn't give a damn about what was going on in Palestine. You only care about what happens when it comes hit you on your doorstep. And a lot of these people on the Democratic side are arguing that about the Republicans. Y'all only care when it hits your doorstep. When we were telling it about what was going on in Palestine, y'all didn't care though. Until what? It hits your doorstep. Until it finds itself in the crosshairs of your little partisan war. Everything is centered around the American way and the American thinking, the American people. We care about America and all that. I'm like, man, listen, man, we're in a world where we share space with one another. And what I'm seeing is America going to different people's lands, destroying their crap, and then running back over here and saying they're the best and free us and all this nonsense when they creating disruption all over the world and creating spaces for which they're impossible for people to live and stuff like that. Them and their cronies, man. Learning so much about what America do, man. The last thing I want to do is align myself morally with America. I'm sorry, I'm an American citizen, not by choice. I appreciate that I've been able to enjoy a good life at the expense of God knows who else is suffering because of the nonsense that we've done. But I'm not with it anymore at all. Now that I've been awakened to what's going on here, I'm willing to sacrifice whatever I should to assure that we make right what it is that white supremacy has done in our name that's been wrong. And you start learning about what the West has been doing to people of color and indigenous people all over the world, the more and more you find out that they just go around doing this to everybody. You know what I mean? Every facet of this Western civilization crap just goes around, finds a dark group of people and just do awful shit to them, steal everything from them, exploit them, and then leave them without nothing. It's like it gets to a point where like that's the story every way you look. Find a group of people who are indigenous, brown to the land, and just do horrible shit to them, and then take the land, tell everybody they're the bad, copy and paste, do it again somewhere else. That's what they've been doing. And so it's like, man, I'm not interested in any form. When I look and see this side of white supremacy, not happy with that side of white supremacy, I'm not interested in either side of white supremacy. And that's exactly what the Democrats and Republicans ultimately represent, whether we know it or not. Whether we know it or not. I'm not interested, man. Y'all start making right some of these wrongs y'all did and really show that you've changed, which I know you nowhere near have. Don't look to me to be in the dark about whether or not I should support one side of you or not the other, man, please. Please. And I'm just seeing people play right into that. Oh, have the day you voted for. I shouldn't have been voting for either one of them clowns. If you knew what I know, you wouldn't have. Look at what happens when the Republicans get in office. You weren't paying attention to what happened when the Democrats were in office, though. They were doing evil stuff, too. They just weren't doing it loud. They just weren't doing it as racist, but they were still doing horrible things to people outside of the circumference of our bubble. You know what I mean? I'm not interested. I'm over the whole thing, the whole partisan thing. It's just trash. It's trash, man. It ain't real. It's a manufactured to make us be at odds with one another. It's just two hands attached to the same damn body, man. That's all that is. Two arms attached to the same body. It ain't nothing different than that. And so as I continue to see that I've started to unfortunately follow people who are pro one side or another, I start understanding that I need to start cleaning out my stuff and making sure that I don't do that. Making sure that I don't follow anybody that's pro any of them sides against the other side, playing into that. I'm not interested. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And we need to start waking up to the understanding that it is exactly that. It's absolute nonsense. It's divide and conquer. Half of these people are owned. A good portion of those who are being voted for are owned. And the ones who are not are getting shunned. So you could see who's who. The ones who ain't getting no trouble pointed at them by either side are likely intertwined somehow. If they allow them to speak, they're going to say something along the lines of Israel has a right to defend itself or the right to exist, or some stupid ridiculousness that allows for colonialism and the practice of colonialism to continue to look as if it is working, as if it is righteous, as if it has a right to, after taking over the lands, make the rules on the land and all these different things. And people stealing stuff and then writing their name on deeds. That's interesting to me. And I go and steal somebody's car and then write a receipt for it. It's my car. I got my name on it, see? You stole the car. Yeah, but I righteously have it now. It's mine. Like, how is it yours? You stole it. That's what they've been doing with land. That's exactly what they've been doing with land. They steal the land and then they put some paper with their name on it, say it's ours. Slap a flag on it and act like they're indigenous to it. And dare you not to believe the lie. Dare you not to believe the lie. This is what they do everywhere they go. And you look at, if you pay attention to what's going on in Israel, it's the same thing that they've been doing everywhere else. Ain't nothing new. Just the hat they wear. As I've said to you guys a million times, they can separate themselves by way of their religion. They can separate themselves by way of, you know, the land itself, where they originated from. At the end of the day, friends, it's just white supremacy, bro. It's the same old ugly, devilish white supremacy. That's all it's ever been, and that's all it's going to be. Today they're Jewish. Tomorrow they may decide to be whatever the heck it is that they come up with next. Put on a different hat. Say they have nothing to do with them over there because we're different. No, you're not different. You practice the same practice. You're running the same race. You're practicing the same practice. We're Christians. We're Jewish. We're the guys. The object of the game is still the same, no matter what hat you put on. White supremacy. Find indigenous people. Find the people of color. Do weird stuff to them and then tell everybody they're the worst people in the world. That's it. That is the story. Exploit, make fun, rape, maim, and pillage. Crawl into a corner and complain. Play the victim. That's how it works in every situation. I ain't seeing nothing new from the Israelis. I ain't seen from the whites. In America, the whites from Europe, the whites from different places, you know, the UK and Australia. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit, man. They always do the same thing. And the sick thing about it is they find it works because the indigenous people always find a way to just kind of let them do it. Just, well, I mean, we just have to keep working. We have some type of weird Stockholm syndrome, some type of sorcery that we come under that keeps us from being violent, like irrationally violent, like they are toward us. It's like, no, let's be docile. Let's be diplomatic. The indigenous people always find us, oh, we wiped out. We don't have the numbers anymore, so let's just play their game. They took it. They took it. They took it. It's not, we're going to take it back. It's not, okay, well, let's demonstrate against them. Let's use their tactics against them. No, never that. It's, we're going to fall in line now. After we've had all this trauma and horror and genocide placed upon us, we're going to fall in line and we're going to fight each other and we're going to take everything they offer us. We'll complain a little bit. We'll get out in the street and burn something a little bit when something happens, but we'll get right back to it and continue in indulging in the poison they provide us. You know what I mean? Well, it's only a few that actually stand up and fight, and usually when they do, they find ways of just suppressing that. Like Haiti, for example. Haiti fought their way for their freedom, and then white supremacy put a bill on it. Hey, yo, hey, you fought for your freedom? Cool, but you owe us money because you stole yourself from us. If you would have stayed in bondage, you wouldn't owe us all these billions of dollars. But since you did, and you fought your way to freedom, killed a bunch of our men, and effectively freed yourself, by way of that, based on what it is we've written here, you now owe us for your freedom. So pay us. Or we're going to starve you out with the resources we have. We're going to starve you out. We ain't going to import nothing towards you. You may have won the battle, but you lost the war because we still control the land. It is what it is, man. A lot of times it's because we're God-fearing people. We're waiting for God to come by and bring karma to the devil and all of that. That's really what it's about. For a lot of us, we're just waiting on God. Like, we're gonna raise our families, and we're gonna continue to wait on God and hope that He can make us strong enough to endure the infinite oppression and infinite trauma and infinite smearing of our name and our image. Infinite, because that's what it feels like. It may not actually last forever, but the idea is to just continue to endure, assimilate. Some of us, you know, kiss the boot, you know what I mean? Align with white supremacy, hope to be friends with it, hope it chooses us. And that's what really ends up killing the indigenous people and the black people. That's what ends up killing us. It's those that end up from our side of the fence worshiping them and turning on all of us. That's what ends up destroying any movement of us staying together or anything. It's the devil within the people on the side of those who are oppressed. The coons, so to speak. It's always the coons that ultimately kill the movement, if I'm being honest. And you see that in every facet and form. You're seeing it today with these brown ice agents taking their own people and put them in them cages and stuff like that. Like they always, because it's really spiritual at the end of the day, so you're going to find good and evil everywhere. So white supremacy, an evil entity, is also going to have allies of evil within your own communities, and that's what ends up destroying us. That's what ends up tearing us apart. Because there's always going to be somebody on our side willing to take a buck, or jealous of somebody else, or something like that, or just hate his own people for whatever bad reason, and willing to throw us all under the bus and all different types of stuff like that. This is always what's going on with the people of color, the indigenous people of the world. Always, no matter what. It's always going to be somebody selling us down the damn river. Right into the hands of white supremacy so that it can do what it do. Always. Never fails. And so that's what I think we need to do a better job of, is understanding from a spiritual standpoint so we know how to battle and combat against it. Raising ourselves to not take the bait that has been provided us, to the divine and conquer bait that's always in place to divide people who are on the other side of the colonial intention. Whatever they use, whatever they do to throw in a fork to divide you, it's always something. They're always looking to divide and conquer. Democrat, Republican, something, anything. They use anything. Your differences versus my differences, classism, sexism, racism. It's always something in place that will effectively keep you separated so that you don't come together to be big enough to destroy what's coming at you, to disarm what's coming at you. Copy and paste, over and over again, copy and paste. And they just keep on hoarding everything for themselves. Hoard it, hoard it, hoard it. Give me all, everything, everything. And then they get to a point where they control the walls, and then they can do the Haiti thing to you if you ever get strong enough to mess with it. Copy and paste, keep doing it forever. Get bigger and bigger and more victimized in your own mindset. Self-pity comes with all that power, apparently. They go hand in hand. The more they get, the more sorry for themselves they feel. I'm telling you, this is what I see there. It's exactly what I see there. The more privilege they receive, the weaker they are to the little privilege they don't have. Because they're fat and happy, as we often talk about. It becomes a situation where the spirit of being spoiled and the spirit of having everything makes it so that you can live without nothing. Like literally, you can live without nothing. Now you need it all, or it's the end of the world for you. And so that's what you're seeing often there as well. It's just severely spoiled energy. Severely spoiled. If they lose a fingernail, it's like somebody passed away. You know what I mean? If somebody throws a rock in their direction and now it's like a hail of bullets flying at them. Because they're weak. Weak off of the reality of having so much and being conditioned for it. Never holding oneself accountable. So anytime someone tells them to, you know, pull up their pants, so to speak, now all of a sudden it's like you're telling them that you're going to put them in bondage for 1,000 years. Like, seriously. That's what ends up happening. And so you're dealing with that nonsense as well. And so, yeah, man, at this point, I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, man, what loop? It's this hamster wheel, this human hamster wheel that we in, where we keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they keep going the same way, and same this, same that. People put on new uniforms, call themselves different, but they're still the same people doing the same stuff over and over again. It's just a loop. Pillage the land, smear the name of the people, start over. Call themselves the victim, take on whatever accountability of that, shift, go somewhere else, do the same thing over again, start over, do it again. It's just a copy and paste. It's a loop. It's a hamster wheel. We're not going nowhere as a human race because of it. It's just an evolution suppressor. White supremacy is. That's what it is. It suppresses evolution. And so, as I continue to witness this with my eyes in the whatever 1,000th spin of this wheel that we're on, I happen to be alive for, I just say to all of y'all, man, this is what happens. This is essentially what happens when you don't hold white supremacy accountable for its evil. As I walk past a man who once called me the N-word, who don't have nothing, not a damn thing. True story. And so what I'm telling all of y'all is this, man. It's on us in our own communities of good people, whether you're on the white supremacy side of the skin or indigenous side of skin, is start reading energy better so that you can start purging the evil from our respective communities. This is what needs to happen. As long as the evil has people on both sides, it's always going to be the same ridiculous loop. You understand what I'm saying? That's really what it is. If you really want to overcome, you got to start reading energy better. Because as long as we're continuing to do things the way that we've been doing them, we're going to stay in this loop. People are going to put on different hats. It's going to be the same copy and paste hamster wheel spin, man, and we ain't going nowhere, running in place forevermore. That's what it's going to be. We got to do something about this. You know, people like myself, alive today, telling you what it looks like as we spin this wheel again. But people in the 60s told you what it looked like when they spent that wheel. People in the slavery days told you what it looked like when they spent that wheel. Before that, it was the same thing, some other way, shape, and form. It's always the same shit, man. I'm telling y'all. It says nothing new. Nothing new. And there's no solution outside of reading energy properly, raising your children to be on the right side of history, in your respective corners, and supporting the resistance to whatever loop we're in. Whatever the resistance is, you support that. That's what I'm telling y'all. Today it happens to be Hamas versus Israel. You got to support the side of Hamas. Why? Why do you support Hamas? Because Hamas represents the indigenous people of all the lands. Not just this cycle and loop, all the loops. Yesterday it was the Black Panthers. Before that it might have been the abolitionists. You know, it was the black side of the apartheid in South Africa. It's the same. I'm telling y'all, man. And it's always going to be the white side telling you that the black side is the worst side and they're terrorists and they're horrible and you need to not support them and they're evil and all that. They're going to keep saying the same old stuff because that's all they know how to do. It's all anybody knows how to do is the same shit over and over again. You know what I think probably end up happening? When all this blows over, after all the good Palestinian people have been wiped out, you're going to start seeing some of the Palestinian people pulling like a Khalid and then just assimilating with white supremacy and letting Israel have the land. Two-state solution bullshit. And white supremacy continues on. And they're going to take this somewhere else. They do the same shit probably 50, 60, 70 years from now. Because it's always the same shit. We always, as the indigenous people, always just assimilate to it. Like, we can't beat them, join them, or, you know, we just really want to be friends. We're not violent. And they keep on telling us we're not violent, but we're only violent toward one another. So let's hold one another accountable. This is us. We keep hurting us. That's what. Now that bullshit. And they keep on spinning the wheel, man. Getting richer and richer off of every spin. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Am I lying? Am I speaking some historical inaccuracies here? Regardless of what side you're on, you don't even have to open your mouth if you want to live in a space where what I'm saying is inaccurate. Hey man, what's understood doesn't often have to be spoken. You know, sometimes it's not in your best interest to speak. You got to live in a space where what I'm saying is not true. And you need to live in that denial. Hey man, I get it. I'm getting to a point where I understand that. Sometimes people just got to live in the lie in order to not be held accountable for the horrible things they've done. And hey, that's self-preservation. Living the lie, that's what you got to do. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. That's, hey, I'm getting to a point where I don't even ask them questions no more. When I first started paying attention to this genocide, I'm like, why are these people living a lie? At this point now, it's like, well, it's just what they do, man. They have to. For whatever reason, they feel like this is the only way to live. So anytime you open your mouth, you're going to do something or align with something that fits that narrative, and you're going to tell yourself you believe that narrative, because any other way of looking at it puts you in the crosshairs of something you can't stand to deal with. I get that part. That part of this, I truly understand. Especially when you don't have the morals to see anything good happen other than you taking the land. The last thing you want to do is suffer for it. You know what I mean? So if that means the people who are crying out against what you're doing have to be smeared out to be horrible human beings, it's not the worst thing you've done. That's what I'm coming to understand. It's not the worst thing they've done. So I see the Israelis, and they go around lying about everything. Oh, Hamas has, they're using the people as human shields. That lie ain't the worst thing they done. America, you need to align with us because Hamas propaganda is what's going to ruin your mind. That lie ain't the worst thing they've done. It ain't. Worst thing they've done is kill the children. And that's another thing. I've been seeing footage, new babies dying. You know, of course, this never ends. This never actually ends, right? Not until all the Palestinians are gone. So, of course, while we're all in this space where we're worried about our own lives and fighting on whatever side, trying to, you know, put alligator hats on our head for alligator Alcatraz, or, you know, whatever the hell people are doing in America, these people are still dying in Gaza. They still, you know, Israel is still using the money that we've sent over and the bombs we sent over to continue to rid itself of the indigenous people as usual, or whatever cycle of this loop we're on. And so as a result, you see new babies died just as recently as yesterday. And they showed one footage, a side-by-side image of a wonderful little child, no older than 1 year old baby, beautiful little girl. And then you see on the right side of the image what looks like stumped out mud, which is her remains after Israel just slaughtered her. Like, you see images like that. Then you see another, you know, you scroll a little bit and you see ambulance driver in Gaza, the inside of, I guess someone's filming him from the inside of the car. He's got the wheel in one hand, trying to steer the wheel of the ambulance with his left hand, and pressing the baby's chest to do palpitations with his right hand. A 2-year-old, 1 year old baby, probably a baby of 1. Unresponsive. He's trying to save it and get it to where it's going at the same time. Like, these are the things that you're seeing yesterday, not last week, not a year ago. No, this is yesterday. This is what's going on in day 641, I believe, of this genocide. So like while we're worried, since we're so caught up in what we got going on here, which is righteous enough, we got a lot going on. A lot of people are saying, where's the humanity? Hey buddy, what's up? A lot of people are saying, where's the humanity to their own situation? Didn't give a damn about any of this we've been talking about for the last 600 plus days. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, same people were screaming, go MAGA, and now mad at MAGA because MAGA did what MAGA said he was going to do, which is give the finger to literally everybody. He told you he was going to do this. And y'all wanted to stick a finger at the other side, who's also owned by Israel, but you want to give them the finger because you damned if you lose. Now you're getting what comes with that coming your way. And I want to tell everybody on the other side, like, listen, if you're political person would have gotten office, that person would have did some evil shit too. That would have given the finger to the other side, and they would have been running around unhappy in their own right, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? It's not anything more than a divide and conquer method. Because if we all come together as a united front, it's very difficult for fascism to succeed. It's very difficult for them to move forward if both sides are in lockstep unison. But it's rather easy to continue on the path they own if they can cut a piece down the middle, split it apart, and continue moving that way. I'm telling you, it's the only reason why you have political parties. It's the only reason why y'all at each other's throats. It's the only reason why one side is so incredibly opposite of the other side. Both sides represent people who only care about themselves to whatever degree of self-exhaustion American psychology would allow. And so naturally, when the one side gets in, it must give this complete finger to the other side, as to which the other side is so incredibly outraged at the fact that anything would otherwise be pointed away from what it is it would agree with, which either exalts itself or makes it feel like it's the worst victim in the world, not giving a damn about who it's victimizing as it continues to divide its way. And that's why I tell you, America, the world does not revolve around you, but its problems revolve around you thinking it does. The world's problems revolve around you believing and understanding that you're the most important thing in the world, or entitled to what it is that makes you feel safe and happy and better than the other side. It's going to always need you to feel like this is about you. And to only care about politics as it pertains to other people's problems if you're interested in the subject, no different than pottery, film, mathematics, or whatever else you decide to study by choice of what your interests are. I'm telling you, this is why it's that way. Care about what's going on with those people. Why? Because it ain't me, and I'm not interested. I prefer to watch Will and Grace. I prefer to watch the basketball game. I prefer to watch Star Wars or whatever other brand that they've been shoving down my face for the last 65 years. Superman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Man. Wonder Man is black. Oh no! How could Wonder Man be black? Wonder people are white, not black. I'm so outraged. No, I'm not paying attention to genocide in Palestine because Wonder Man is black. This is awful. Like this type of shit, man, and they keep on using this type of stupidity against us. And we continue to be in the dark while funneling all of the funding needed to continue to do all these devilish deeds all over the world. Every time you pay taxes, they send that money to Israel. Every time you pay taxes, they send it somewhere like that. You know, because the narrative right now, how white supremacy wants us to believe, is that Mexican people are the worst people in the world. Meanwhile, things that white supremacy neglected in Texas is taking place right now, where their little girls is getting swept away by water that they could have predicted was coming if they would have just not been so partisanly divided, so to speak. Yeah, it's people from Mexico coming over to save them little white girls. By the droves, coming from Mexico, crossing the border. Likely illegally, since you want to put a line down the map of every damn thing, to save these little white people. While your Texas governor's throwing his arms up in the sky saying he couldn't do nothing about it. And the president saying his arms are tied. And everybody else saying their arms are tied, not using any money to go save those people. Meanwhile, sending all this money over to Israel so they can kill children. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, yo, are we going to continue to do this? Are we going to continue to do this? Are we seriously this stupid? And you can't wait for the 9th Jurassic Park to drop? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, bro. Y'all can't wait for the next generation of Smurfs? But y'all don't give a damn about what's going on in Palestine? Like, I'm sick of y'all, man. I'm sick of the whole thing, bro. Honestly. Y'all didn't let y'all love for money and y'all love for familiarity and y'all self-exhaustion drive you into being the terrorists of the world. The whole freaking world, America. Stuff I'm seeing in my phone should make you never want to buy another sandwich from another McDonald's or any of these people. Make you not want to go see another movie that is funded by another person that's from that space. You don't ever want to do any of that if you saw some of the stuff I saw, but you're not paying attention because you're too busy paying attention to the bullshit they're selling. Over and over and over again. Forever distracted. And at some point in time, we got to realize the world does not care that we're distracted. They're not going to be interested in the fact that you were raised to love yourself so much that you don't care about nobody else. That's not something that's going to give you a pass for all of the evil stuff that's been done with your dollars, man. They're not going to care, bro. They're not going to care. It's the same logic used against people who do horrible things to children. They don't care that you didn't know that she was of age, wasn't of age. They're going to put you in jail for statutory rape, brother. They don't care. Unless you're of a certain view. Then they might give you a pass for it because, you know, Josh Giddey. He didn't know. I know he didn't know. He didn't know. She lied about her age. A lot of them have that story. How many of them actually got away with it? That's a whole nother story. But whatever. Point is, in most cases, they're not going to care that you didn't know. They're not going to care you were distracted, that you were raised to be distracted, that you believed yourself to be a good person and no one was holding you accountable for not being more aware of what your tax dollars was funding, for not being in a space where culturally you would have these conversations in spaces where your interests are ultimately found. And I've gotten to a point where I start to understand, how do we find ourselves so ignorant to what it is that our country is funding? Well, it's because when you look around, you're seeing everybody be complicit. Culturally complicit. That's what it is. Good people, people who believe themselves to be good people, are culturally complicit. Why? Because it's uncouth to have these conversations on a basketball platform. Because we don't want to see this stuff when we're trying to do our pastimes. We work hard in the week. When we come home, all we want to see is what's on at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Our TV shows. We just want to watch Friends. We're not interested in politics at that hour. That's culturally complicit. Because if you were having these conversations in spaces where you otherwise escape your hardships and your difficulties, more of the information would be floated around more naturally at the dinner tables of various Americans. But because we're culturally complicit, we don't talk about things that are difficult. Culturally, it's uncouth to talk about religion and politics because people end up at odds with one another. And that's the only thing that can come of having these conversations? No, that's the only thing that the establishment wants you to believe comes of those conversations. What actually comes of those conversations is intellect. People being informed. People evolving in a space where they are more likely to be comfortable having those conversations in spaces they otherwise escape their lives to go to. Because you can start solving the problems that cause your life to be so frustrating in those conversations. Oh, our lives are so hard, working these hard jobs. I just want to come home, kick off my feet and watch the game. I'm too weak of the mind to have a real socio-political conversation in those spaces until I'm not anymore. Just like working out in a stretch routine. You start stretching, you go a little further. Next thing you know, you've lost weight, you look better. It's just like any other conditioning of the mind. And this is what we normalize with my channel. That's why I don't make 2 channels like my homeboy told me to do. And you make a channel for the Lakers and you make a channel for socio-political conversation. Hell no, because that's the problem. That is American complicit energy 101. I'm in the dark, I stay in the dark, I want to be in the dark. Why? Because I'm too weak to not be in the dark. No, my self-awareness tells me I'm strong enough to condition myself any other way I want to. And those who follow me are strong enough to condition themselves just as well. Why in the hell would I continue on the conditioning of keeping us complicit to genocide? By way of what? The culture I'm pushing forward? Hell no. The culture I'm pushing forward is going to tell you, hey, we can watch Super Bowl and talk about geopolitical conversations in between plays. We're strong enough to do so. We just think we're not. And we're in a space where it's culturally uncouth to do so. The establishment has effectively made us feel like we're weak of the mind and can't do it. We can do it. And should and are supposed to. And it would save lives if we did. It's going to make us smarter and make us less likely a target if we did. I'm not the type of stupid, man. That's what it comes down to. I'm not the type of stupid. I know exactly what put us in a position to be complicit to genocide culturally. I know what it is. It's the stuff that we don't pay attention to, that we nod our head about, that we don't question whether we feel we are good people or bad people just the same. Things we don't do in America. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. We don't know shit about other people's suffering as we pay for it. Nah. You want to tell me that America's the greatest country in the world? I'm an American. Let me do something great right here. This is me telling you this is how we got to be if we want to be great. You got to just do away with the poor conditioning of one's mind to have the reluctance for tough conversations in spaces that are otherwise meant for our peace. We can solve some of these problems that keep us from being at peace instead of sweeping them under the rug. You don't sweep things under the rug with your family, do you? If you think you're actually trying to solve a problem, what do? You go head on and you handle it. When you're tired, you talk in your relationship at night when it's time to go to sleep, or when you just fresh wake up, you talk. You don't brush things under the rug unless you want it to get worse. There ain't no different in regards to these conversations. We're strong enough. They just want us to think we're not. And I cannot stress that enough. If you know the root cause of what makes it so that people are dystopian and aligned with the Zionist supremacy and Jewish supremacy, you want to know what keeps people aligned with that? It's their silence. And the things they don't question. We don't talk about them. That's too dangerous to talk about them. Why the hell are they so afraid of us talking about them? Why would they make it so culturally interwoven that we never question them if not for some bullshit they were doing? If I were to train all of my people under me in whatever form or facet to never question me, wouldn't it be people from the outside wondering why the hell that is? Why the hell we don't do that with them? Obviously they're hiding something. If they can't stand to stare in the mirror, let alone see anybody else reflect their truth upon them verbally, they can't stand the truth. Why? Because they can't effectively be themselves while living in it. They put themselves in the crosshairs for every bad thing that ultimately they welcome. They're trying to overcome karma. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to beat karma. They're trying to defy death. They're trying to change everything in regards to gravity, physics. They're trying to be God. And they don't even understand God. They don't behold what God created properly, let alone created themselves. They can't change matter nor change fact. Yet they want us to all believe that that it's possible that they do, and that we can't somehow. Bullshit. That's what I tell the Zionist Jew. Bullshit. You kill children because you're afraid of what it looks like when you're not. And that is a perversion of your own mind. That ain't got nothing to do with the reality of anything. If you leave people alone and stop stealing from people, stop spinning the hamster wheel the same way you've been doing it for as long as the world has been, you would have a better reputation. You wouldn't have anybody trying to hurt you for the things that you do in hurting others. You wouldn't have anybody trying to hurt your reputation. None of that. If you sacrifice some of that power that you have, you would have a better reputation. People would see you as the chosen ones, and they never question whether or not you're doing things the right way, because you would be. You wouldn't have to stand in lies and make yourself look foolish when you get on debate shows, trying to justify colonial practices that ultimately steal the land and kill people for no damn real reason. You wouldn't have nobody upset at you for anything. But you can't do it. You can't do it because you're too weak. But you want all of us to think we're just as weak as you so you can continue to control the world. It's not true. It's not true. But you don't live in truth. It's not you. Call yourself Israel, but everything y'all do is fake. Everything y'all got going on is incumbent upon people being afraid. Afraid to tell the truth about you, afraid to stand up against you, afraid of what's going to be revealed if they tell the truth about you. It's all fear-based. It's all bullying. It's all weakness, little energy, or so to speak, as you would call it a different way. That's all it is. Call themselves the chosen ones. No, they're trying to dumb the world down to be just like them. Believe my lies. Cower in the presence of my weakness. That type of stupidity. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not complicit in any of that. And God creates more people, man. More people. You try to wipe out the Palestinian race, he'll come up with a new indigenous people on the land where you're not looking. There'll be more. I mourn the dead. Lord, just create new people. Greater people, better people. You're going to genocide them? He going to manifest new ones over there? You can't do it. You're not God. You ain't going to rid the world of people of color just because you decided. Your decisions don't mean anything. And that's what they're going to have to come to understand. No matter how many people you have complicit in today's land, all these people alive are going to die. And guess what's going to happen? There's going to be new people here tomorrow who are going to see the truth you did and shun you for it. It just is what it is. You don't get to stand in a space where you control the world forever. The world evolves even if you try to keep it from it. And eventually people like me come up, point at the hamster wheel and say, this is what we're running on. Evolution is inevitable. Water gonna seep through whatever it is. No matter what it is, water's gonna seep through. So too with the truth. And so that's what I'm telling all of you. If it fits your weakness to fear the devil, go for it. Me personally, I'm gonna fear God. I'm not really interested in the devil. He don't hold much weight. He spends his entire existence terrified and confused. I'm not gonna fear him. I'll leave that to you. Me personally, I'm lining up with God and see what he want to do. Same one that created all of this, for which we all have the ability to see and feel and then come to whatever conclusions we do. Yeah, I'm walking over there with him and I'm saying, what are we doing next? I'm not interested in what these men talking about. I don't care how many of them agree with one another, how many of them afraid of one another, how many of this. I don't care about none of that. I promise you I don't. I'm going to die anyway. I'm not going to die in fear. I'm not going to die someone who stayed aligned with nonsense when I understood better. He gave me the ability to understand better, so I move differently. I'm not moving with y'all. I don't care how many of y'all worship the dollar or worship your own sex weirdo shit that you try to keep quiet and still want to feed. I'm not interested. Not interested. I welcome accountability. I welcome the Holy Spirit to hold me accountable for all the evil that I do. I ask him every day. Get the evil out of my own heart. So I'm really not interested in aligning with evil in any way. You could change the meaning or definition of evil and do all this and that. I don't care, man. He gave me a true north. I'm not interested in y'all definitions. I'm smart enough to think for myself in that way. I'm not confused by that. I know what evil is. You can call it whatever you want. You could call pink blue, call blue orange. I don't give a shit, man. I got eyes. I know what it is. If we don't want to use language anymore, at this point, no problem. And so this is where I'm at with that, man. Y'all can try to do all types of weird stuff with the numbers, do all types of weird stuff with the images, do all types of weird stuff with what you control. Zionists, Jew, you can do whatever you want to do and telling us you're chosen for this, chosen for that. I don't feel you. I don't feel you. I feel the Holy Spirit when I pray. You're not there. He ain't telling me to align with you and to communicate anything other than the truth. That he has my back. That's it. That's all he told me in regards to you. He has my back. You understand what I'm saying to you? None of that stuff that is spiritually bankrupt in nature that you live by and die by holds any weight with me at all. In your political systems and your structures and spinning of this hamster wheel over 1,000 times over and over again, none of that. None of it moves me at all. Not interested. I talked to God. He told me he had my back. He's going to move with me on this as it pertains to telling the truth, aligning me with the wisdom necessary to convince the people whatever it is, what may, and it'll get to him when it gets to him. It ain't got to be today. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm not moved. My fate is not intertwined in your will. It's not. Just like my birth wasn't. And that's what I'm here to tell all of y'all, man. I'm not interested. I respect that there are a lot of people who don't know any better, man. That's fine. That's what I'm here for, to help. But at the end of the day, this hamster wheel, it's going to break. It's going to stop. And we're going to have to understand that we ain't got nowhere despite all of our running. That's what we're going to understand. And we've been running in place for a very long time. And if we keep spinning this way, then we're going to be able to predict everything that's about to happen next, because it's already been done 1,000,000 times. And just because the new people are new doesn't mean that the history hasn't shown us what's happening. It already has shown us that we've been on this hamster wheel for 1,000,000 years, over and over again. At some point in time, we got to understand to get off of it. Get off of it is literally what it's about. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. Our selfishness has been the issue. Our selfishness, the culture of being complicit and silent, believing ourselves to be weak, so therefore we need to be this or that. All of that stuff that we've been talking about for the last hour, man. I'll tell you like this. There are a lot of people who believe in God, say they believe in God, and they do things that the enemy wants them to do. If we're not going to use language anymore, it's easy to point. If people are going to change the word definition of things, it's easy to point. That's still orange, that's still white. You understand what I'm saying? If they want to call that black, they want to call that green, doesn't matter, point. Somebody say, give me the color that goes with the round thing that you peel, point at that. We ain't even got to say the word orange. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, buddy.
And so that's what I'm telling all of you guys, man. We got to get off this hamster wheel, and we got to get to a point where we understand, fully understand, that they're going to always try to mold the world to fit what it is they want it to be. But at the end of the day, what is, and what ain't. And so far, the Lord has not changed that. So that he hasn't changed that means that our true north is still him. Follow him, not me. I'm a guy, I'm a person. He gave me everything I'm saying. He gave me every position I have. No exaltation here. I don't need a statue made for me. Ain't nothing after me at all. I'm a regular guy. I'm going to go in my grave in peace with that. But do take what I'm saying seriously, man. Take what I'm saying seriously, because we're in a space, we're about to spin this wheel again. We're going to spin this wheel again. And that's what we cannot allow. More people to get hurt, more genocides to be manifested, more lands to be stolen and different things like that. We got to get to a point where we understand, yo, we have seen this movie before. Our behavior and the behavior of the other side is always the same thing. So you know what to do next? Is not what the people who always done this have done. We got to do things differently. And if we're going to do things differently, you got to condition your mind for accountability. You got to condition your mind for unselfishness. You got to adhere to something greater than your ego and kill that ego off. You got to use your magic, so to speak, your voodoo, whatever, for positivity, not self-indulgence and self-exalted justice. You understand what I'm saying to y'all, man? All these different things y'all figure out how to do. You got to do it for good, man. Every religion thinks they know God, this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, you got the same devil coming at you, man. Bdf 44, thank y'all for watching.